Hello and welcome to Real-ationship Talk. Now, if you haven't seen my previous video, please do have a watch of that because I explained that this Real-ationship Talk series will now be question and answers. And I will be choosing them at random. So please head over to that video because it explains a lot more. So for this week, I have chosen a question that has come through to me, and I'm going to read it out to you, and then I'm going to let you know what my response is to that question. So let's go. It's headed up, why is my partner so unsupportive? I'm just reading from my laptop here. So, hi, I'm going through a bit of a situation right now. I applied for a position in my company and it would have been a promotion. However, I was told yesterday that I was unsuccessful in acquiring the role. And this has been really, really upsetting for me. Of course, I discussed this with my partner and he was really dismissive in his tone. He said to me, look, it's okay, be strong. They don't deserve you anyway. You're good at what you do. Perhaps it might even be time to move on to another company. Now, that isn't what I wanted to hear right now. I wanted somebody who was supportive, somebody that would tell me it was okay. I just need somebody to listen to me rather than be so dismissive and abrupt in his tone and act like it isn't nothing. This means the world to me. Why is he so unsupportive? Is there something I can do? Am I overreacting because I'm emotional at the moment? Please help. Now, that is a very, very interesting question. And firstly, I want to say to the person who sent this across to me that I completely hear you, see you, and feel you. I can only imagine how disappointing and upsetting this situation is for you. Now, from your partner's perspective, he may be feeling that he's been incredibly supportive. He may be feeling, yeah, I'm giving you that go spirit, forget about them, you deserve better, I'm trying to lift you up in the moment. But of course, what you said is that that's not what you wanted to hear in that moment. And we all have needs, and it's absolutely okay to accept that it's natural to have those needs. And as we grow and as we evolve as people, our needs can sometimes change. So if you haven't already expressed to your partner exactly how you're feeling, I would say that it's time to sit down, and if it is still nagging you, bothering you, to have a really good conversation with him. Firstly, you need to get super clear on what it is that you actually want, what it is that you actually need from him. Now, what does support look like to you? You already said that it wasn't what you expected from him. You wanted something different. So get really clear on what he did and then on what you would have liked him to have done. When you get super clear about that, then it's time to express your needs to him. Now, he might not necessarily agree with your needs and your feelings at that time, but your needs are your needs and your feelings are your feelings. You cannot be told that you do not feel supported because that's how you feel, okay? It's internal, it's within you. So just be very mindful that he might not necessarily agree with your feelings, but it's okay. He doesn't have to agree with your feelings. You just have to express how you are feeling about that situation. So in order to have a conversation with him, if you haven't already done so, it's really important that you come from a place where you are not reacting and you are responding, okay? Because when you are reacting, it's emotionally charged. You're all caught up in the moment. But a response means that you are in control. It means that you can come from a confident, assertive, and an empathetic approach. Choose your timing for that conversation really well. Not when you are both super busy, when you're rushing off your feet, when somebody looks like they're not going to give you the care and attention. Be sure that you structure that conversation so that you both have the quality time to be able to talk about it. Also consider your environment. It will be really good for you to have a face-to-face discussion rather than it being text message. I always advocate having a face-to-face conversation. And also that it is a place where you can talk really freely, really openly about how you are feeling, a safe space for you. Also consider the energy that you are bringing to that conversation. If you are feeling low vibe, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling really, really super emotional, you may not be able to articulate yourself in the way that's not going to feel like you are maybe being defensive or attacking him or accusing him. So think about the energy that you are bringing to that conversation. Then plan ahead. It's really important because sometimes when we are in the heat of the moment, we can come across a really finger pointing you statements. You did this and you did this and that made me feel like this. You said this. It's about not coming from a place where you could be considered to be attacking, where that person's going to get super duper offended, even really upset and be on the defense. You want it to be a very safe environment, a position of carefrontation, as Lisa Nichols would say, rather than confrontation. I really would advocate you using I statements. Now, I statements is where rather than saying something that's really finger pointing, it allows you to come from a place of feeling. Rather than saying, you were unsupportive to me, you don't even care. You could say something like, I felt really unsupported when you said X, Y, and Z, fill in the blanks. And I felt unsupported because, say how you feel. And then say what it is you would like him to be doing. How would you like him to support you? I would have liked you to have because. Now, of course, this is going to be a very fluid conversation. So expect that there's going to be to-ing and fro-ing with how you feel, how he felt. And if at any point you feel like the conversation isn't going anywhere, you can say, okay, I'm just going to have to step away from this conversation at the moment. And let's come back when we feel a bit more in a better energetic space to have a productive, healthy, safe conversation. Now, just bear in mind that the solution that you have in your mind might not necessarily be the solution that he has in his mind, but it's really important that you can come to a position where there is that, okay, how do we move forward with this? Now, you might be expecting an apology, and sometimes we expect an apology, but we never really get it. But what we want to be achieving is that peace and resolution within ourselves to say, I had that conversation with you, and this is how I would like it to be going forward. This is what support looks like. Can we work together? Does that work for you? Be very fluid in the conversation. Be open to listening and hear what each other has to say. Now, I hope that has been helpful because I statements are very, very powerful. And another way to actually set up the conversation would be to do a compliment sandwich. So start with telling him all of the wonderful things that he does for you and how he has been there for you and how he does meet your needs in certain aspects. And then you fill it in with the I statements. But this is what has happened, okay? This is what the reality is in this current situation. Then you end it with a compliment. And I really do appreciate you listening to me. It really means so much to me. I'm hoping that we have an understanding here. Use your own words. I'm just giving you an example. But I really hope that helps you to be able to release how you're feeling about this situation, to know that your needs are valid and you just need to find a way to confidently, assertively and empathetically express them in a way. And be very mindful of staying aware of what your needs are, because as I mentioned at the start of this video, our needs can change. So thank you very much for that question. And for everybody who has listened to this Real Relationship Talk, I really hope that you have found value from it. I would love to know your thoughts on it. Have you had any experiences where you have felt unsupported? Whether that's from your partner or somebody that you know, it could even be a manager at work. How did it make you feel? And what did you do about it? Please share, because when we share our experiences, we can learn and we can grow from each other. And if you would like to find out more about what I do and perhaps how I can help you on an individual basis or somebody else that you know, please do head over to my website, www.tereshayoung.com, where you can find out a little bit more about what I can do in order to serve you. So until next week's Real Relationship Talk, take great care of yourself and other people.